Welcome back. We here with the 5th episode of the 360 Vita podcast. You here with the Vita boys.
What is the point? What is that?
I'm pointing at them. I'm saying what's good.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm pointing at you because
Yes,
I heard that you had the pod topics.
Today, I want to talk about feelings, guys. Can we talk about our feelings
Sure.
today?
Sure, I guess.
Can we get in our feelings, sad boys?
Let me get my feelings back.
All right.
Let's do it.
You know,
Were you keeping it a buck today?
we keeping it a buck. You know,
always
it's
keep it
winter. It's very
500.
cold. That seasonal depression be hitting 5 a.m. when you got to wake up for work.
Shush.
It's dark.
Yeah.
I'm lacking that vitamin,
That vitamin
from,
what?
from the sun.
What is that? Just jog my
I don't
memory.
know. Y'all not clipping me. Fuck I look like. Anyway, I want to know how's y'all mental doing right now?
I'm doing well.
Like, good?
That's it.
I'm
Just
doing
well.
I'm good.
Y'all chilling? Not too bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm chill.
Good.
Terribly. Next
Terribly?
question.
Terribly,
Just taking it day by day.
day by day.
That's all you could do, man.
Yeah.
Do you be in seasonal depression,
No.
Loki? No? You be chilling?
I'm good. It could be cold, dark as shit by 4 p.m. and I'm straight.
Well, he's a real
good.
nigga.
I
so.
do be getting a little unmotivated. I don't necessarily get sad. I get a little bit more unmotivated. I feel like I'll comfort eat in the winter more so. Like I'm one of those people.
Nah, I be treating the winter like my training arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to get to it.
How about you?
I don't think it matters the season for me.
I agree.
I could fall into a horrible depression no matter the
Y'all
season.
are so
He said it could be bright and sunny, 90 degrees.
I was like, oh, you think you're tough? Let me tell you the other side.
Y'all unrelate. Y'all gotta relate to the people. People set. Nah, I don't know.
No, I'm
Yeah.
dead
I
ass.
don't
No,
got- I'm
we are
serious.
relating.
No.
We are relating.
Yeah, what do you
We
mean?
don't have
Like,
seasonal
bruh,
depression.
like, no.
My
bruh,
depression
yeah,
is year
seasonal
round.
depression exists, sure. I'll tell you right now, the only time I've ever been truly depressed in my life was June, July, August of a year. So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was the worst time I ever had in my life.
Wow.
If I think back. So, no, I'm being dead ass when I say that it doesn't matter what months they are. I had a terrible, terrible time last February. So, but I don't attribute it to seasonal. But yeah,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah, taking seasonal out, stuff like that still exists any time of the year.
sure.
I'm grateful enough to not have like any crippling depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
fair.
shout out to anyone who is going through things.
Awkward.
You got anything you want to say or not really?
Nah, I and this is one thing that I learned, how important it is to kind of take a step back and like look at your life like on the grand scheme, but also be able to just like P said, take it day by day. But I do have depression. I take sertraline daily, which is Zoloft, if for anyone that doesn't know. And getting on it, I was like apprehensive to get on it, and for a little bit I was inconsistent, but I'm back on it right now, and I think it's been a pretty good positive for my life, and definitely has been much easier to handle and manage. But yeah, I don't have seasonal depression. My shit year round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question a little out of left field.
Okay.
What do you think makes a good leader?
I think a good leader can put themselves in everybody's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to look at things from every single perspective and also be able to look at the bigger picture, right? Like, as a leader, it's obviously important to call the shots and figure out what moves you need to make, but you also have to be able to visualize what those types of moves are going to do to your team. Like, yeah, is this change going to be a positive impact for your team or whatever, your company, whatever the case may be? Yeah, but also let's see how it impacts everybody at each level. You know what I'm saying? I think that is what makes a good leader. You need
So everything you're not. Okay, got it.
That was very rude.
Damn.
I think that was a good response.
What do you think?
From you.
Good
Not-
qualities.
not him.
Good qualities of a good leader.
Accountable. Absolutely. Because if you're not accountable, then you can never be a good leader.
Yes,
Everyone will
sir.
be afraid of you
Yeah.
or afraid
Agree.
of getting in trouble with you. So I guess also empathetic. You gotta have empathy. And be empathetic with the people around you.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to adapt to on the fly situations heavily. Because if you're a leader, everybody else is kind of looking towards you. So if a wrench gets thrown into things, they're looking for you.
Yep.
Think of any like TV show, for example, where the main character gets things done. Shit doesn't progress without them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, it's not like a 1-to-1 comparison, but yeah, I think those are some really important qualities, if I had to say so.
You have to be able to make decisions.
Yes, sir.
You cannot be on the fence with things if you're a leader. I think you like if there's a tough decision that needs to be made, you have to be the one to do it. And then also being another big thing about being a leader is being an effective communicator.
Yes, sir.
That's
really good.
huge.
Yes, sir.
You need to be able to convey whatever we're trying to do, whatever message we need to tell people, or whatever change we need to make, and I need to explain that to my team or my people in general. I need to be able to do that and do that well.
Yes,
If
sir.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a change and I'm not doing and not telling everyone about that change and like well in general, it's not gonna go well. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I have to be able to
Yeah,
talk to my
I
people.
feel like that's like something, at least for myself, that I struggle with sometimes, the communication, or the way like when I have to lead something, or at least like I know more, or I think I do, or whatever the case is. So, sometimes like I know for a fact, even to this day, like I have the problem of like just poor communication, getting it across. Like I'll say it like really like bluntly or quickly, or in like a non-explanatory way. But if
Right.
you don't explain it, then how the fuck is anything gonna change? So
Yeah.
like I definitely get what you're right about that.
Yeah.
That's mad important. I
Follow-
agree, because that's
follow-
something I struggle with.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
Follow-up question. You said a good leader makes good decisions now on the fence.
No. I didn't say
They make
make
decisions.
good decisions.
Oh,
I said
sorry.
they need to be able to make decisions.
Make
Yeah,
the
they're
decision.
able to
Excuse me,
they're able
sorry.
to make the
you
decision.
you cannot be on the fence with your decision
Yeah.
making.
Sorry.
right?
So, but my question is, do you think a good leader hears what their people have to say?
Of course. Yes, you need to in my opinion, you need to be open-minded, and it's good to listen to other opinions and see what other people think. If you're a closed-minded individual, I don't think you're going to go super far. Even if like you've made correct decisions in the past,
Yeah.
being open to change can potentially make you better.
For
So
sure,
being
for
able
sure,
to
yeah.
listen to your team.
Humility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
sir.
Like being humble. You know what I'm
Yup.
saying? Like those are things that also a good leader needs to possess in order to be like successful. So yeah, like I'm not saying your team, or I keep saying team because I'm thinking of like, you know, a manager or a boss or whatever the case may be when I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
of leader. That's the first thing I think of. But
Mhm.
like you're not going to listen to everybody's opinion because everybody's not going to be right. But at least listening to them and giving them a voice and making them feel heard, thus making them feel comfortable with you.
Yeah,
That's
empowering
very
empowering people.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It goes past just being like empathetic.
Yeah.
Like you gotta bring them up too. Let
Yeah.
people know that they're not under you.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true for sure.
I want to pivot, but do you have anything you want to say about leadership?
Yeah, I would say you have to be able to synthesize information because
that
you're going to
mean?
be dealing with a lot of different types of people. You have to be able to communicate with all those different types of people. They're very different. There are very different types of leaders, but you're going to have to work with different, like in corporate, you might have to work with product, you might have to work with HR, you might have to work with legal, you might have to work with just a bunch of different things, and you have to be able to understand the arguments or like the opinions of each stakeholder and make a decision and weighing those pieces of information appropriately for whatever task is at hand. You got to be egoless. You got to have humility. You have to be unafraid to fail and willing to learn.
Yes.
And then I think one of the biggest things is you have to know when to delegate. Leaders delegate. Good leaders will always delegate. And that doesn't mean like you don't do any work, but you put the right people for the job on the job.
Yes. Of
And
course.
that's not always the leader.
Exactly. Yep. And your job as a leader, you're not always going to be an expert in every single thing, but like you said, delegate. Who is the expert on that thing?
What did you say before delegate?
Oh, what were you saying right before
synthesize
that? Role? Is that what you said?
No, not that. But right before that, it was just something I agree with a lot. Yeah.
I said a bunch of things.
I know. I don't know. It was just basically just that the leader has to be creative, like has to be able to like figure out. I don't know. Something about.
Well, they're gonna have to navigate like very different spaces.
So you're gonna have to be like creative in terms of like solutions. and
Yes,
what
you
we're-
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
There's something you said that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
So I agree wholeheartedly with everything y'all said. But one thing that stuck out was communication. And I think we have a large communication issue, not just in leadership, just in general, in humanity and different things and relationships of all kinds, platonic, families, romantic. I think communication, the lack of communication and the lack of like self-resolution skills, is that what it's called? Self-resolution skills is like, could be all like a lot of like failing relationships, or a lot of like, oh, I'm not on great terms with my parents, or I'm not on great terms with this friend, or all of this could be resolved if you just communicate. I feel like effectively. People can't read minds. If you have a crush on someone, how are they supposed to read your mind? Just let them know. All of this, I think, could solve so many problems in the world.
Yeah, well, I think one type of relationship that communication's obviously important in, which is probably all relationships, but one that's sticking out is in like a romantic relationship, right?
Yeah.
I always tell my girl since day one that we have to be open and honest with each other, right? Because if we're being open and honest and telling each other how we feel, whether it's, you're mad at me for whatever the case may be, or you're upset that I did this, or you're happy that I did this and you would like me to do this more, whatever the case may be, that only sets ourselves up for success. The moment that that communication is cut and you're keeping things in and you're bottling them up, or you're lying, that's when things start to spiral out of control. But that just goes past romantic relationships in general. I feel like being open and honest and communicating goes to every relationship. Like, let's say me and Thunderman are doing a vid, right? And I don't know, we want to do a series, and we record the first episode, and it's terrible. And Thunderman keeps it a buck with me. He's like, yo, this is gonna flop. Like, this isn't gonna go well. That's good because he's being honest with me and he's giving me his opinion, right? Let's say he just kept it inside and he's like, yo, fuck it. Let's just keep it going. Like, we're just going to keep doing it because you want to do it. Now we're wasting our time. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this series. It's just getting 2,000 views per vid. And, you know what I'm saying? Now it's not going well because he didn't want to be honest with me for whatever the case. Maybe he thought he was going to hurt my feelings or whatever the case may be. So I think that's with every single relationship is, as long as you're open and honest with that person, it only sets yourself up for success. Even if the truth is hard to hear, you have to be honest. You have to be truthful. You know what I'm saying?
And putting your ego aside, because a lot of people have egos. They can't handle the truth. Yeah. And they think, oh, you're coming after me. It's like, that's not the case. Right. Or insecurities could be stemmed to that.
I think piggybacking off of both those things, I think conflict out of bad communication, or just conflict in general, offers an opportunity to build a stronger connection.
Yes.
Whether that's or in a romantic relationship, I think it offers the opportunity for more intimacy between two partners, not necessarily sexual, but just more closeness. I think strong communication allows that to happen. Like if you were talking about you and Thunderman, if you're going to do a series, like the fact that you can, like, let's say y'all were arguing over it. Now, very many people, and I think too many people, would think this is the end of something because of the conflict. No, that's just the beginning. Like this conflict offers the opportunity for you to come together, resolve something, not only coming together as a team to fix the problem, but also creating a better thing in the future and also strengthening your connection. Right. There are relationships that I've had with people that I think probably won't be resolved because of conflict, but there are also a lot of relationships that I have had that, because of the conflict that we've had, now I look at them in such a greater light. I look at them with more admiration because of the conflict that we had and the way that we were communicating and get out of that thing. So I think coming out of communication and coming out of like not having an ego or like being humble or having humility is like being able to navigate conflict and addressing those situations where it's the most tense, because those are the opportunities for the most growth.
I agree with that.
Have you ever heard that the best marriage? I heard someone say this once. They said the best marriage advice is to not get married until you've been through like something really serious. with your girlfriend or
Yeah.
boyfriend or whoever.
Yeah, I have heard of that before, because then you get to see how that person deals with like hardship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you go through a real serious time and you see that person holds you down and you get through it well, then that's a green flag. Like, all right, now when we get married and we going through the motions and maybe bread isn't coming in the way it's supposed to and the bills are stacking up and now we got to pay the mortgage and the kids' school and this and the groceries and that and third, and your boss is being a dickhead and you don't want to work that job no more. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of hardships in life, but if you've gone through hardships with your partner before y'all get married and you see how they hold it down, then you know they'll hold it down in the future. So yeah, that is important.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What else we got? What do you think, Donovan?
You got something
You
to
agree
say?
with everything?
Do you agree with everything? None to add? Okay.
You scared of the huzz?
Facts.
I also think, like I said, I think a lack of communication skills is lacking. I also think accountability. We touched upon that. I think people got to hold themselves accountable. That's also related to ego. If you have too big of an ego, you're not going to hold yourself accountable. Self-awareness, knowing, okay, these are my weaknesses. Oh, I do that sometimes. Damn, I do tend to forget to call my mom back sometimes. Maybe if she's like mad, emotional intelligence, like, oh, this person is mad at me. What could, like, instead of being lashing out, or if someone lashed out on you, instead of going lashing out back and escalating it, you know, emotional intelligence, you de-escalate. Okay, why is this person mad? Oh, what did I do? Things like that.
Nah,
I
but I'm
think
not going
all of
front.
these-
Sometimes I'll be lashing out back.
That's
You know what
true.
I'm saying? It's hard. It's
That's
hard
true.
to keep your ego in check, because if somebody's getting out of pocket with me, like,
Yeah,
this, like, you gotta really be mature and be
Yeah.
the bigger person.
It's a skill.
to like let shit slide all
Yeah.
the time. Like,
I-
and I think sometimes you can't let shit slide. You gotta
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta lash
Yeah.
back.
Like when I got older, I want to say post 20 years old, my oldest sibling has a pretty stressful career and life. So I try to just be respectful whenever they get tight with me or disrespectful or whatever. I try to always just take it and just think it's okay. It's blood, whatever. I love this relationship. But like you saying, sometimes I gotta lash back.
Yeah,
Like
it's
shut
hard,
the
bro.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Like and it can get it, and
Yeah,
it's
it's hard,
tough.
bro.
It's hard. Yeah.
We still human. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
we're
can
still
only turn the
human.
other
Yeah.
cheek so many times before you just
Yeah,
snap,
and
you feel me?
like I mean, shit, like obviously not proud of it, but I've had some situations, of course, like even with my parents, where sometimes like I've like talked back to my parents at some point, and like
Yeah.
of course, like I could say like I always feel really bad afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like you know. You
And-
got to be mature. You got to be mature regardless,
Yeah.
no matter what the relationship is.
that's
like,
just part of being human, though.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
no one is perfect
one's
whatsoever.
It's gonna
for
be,
sure.
you know what I'm saying?
For
Like
sure.
in the field that I work in the veterinary field, like people get very stressed about their animals.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes they come off very rude.
Mhm.
Some people are just rude in general. Every time they come in, they rude, they mean, they, you know what I'm saying, they talking down on people, et cetera, right? And when I'm in those types of situations, obviously I try to be professional, so I got to make sure, or at least try to make sure I don't talk crazy to them. And I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? And I always try to put myself in their shoes. Like the other day, there was this older woman who's been coming in, and she's been a bit of a handful, but regardless of her being a handful, I always try to be nice to her, because one, I don't think it's hard to be a nice person, but two, I try to envision like, all right, bet, like, what if that was my grandma? You know what I'm saying? Like, if my grandma was getting out of pocket with somebody, would I really want somebody to OD on her? No, I wouldn't. So I'm gonna let her slide, even though she's kind of getting crazy with me, and I'll let it. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't want somebody to OD on my grandma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so
Whole
like,
time, that lady has no kids to even begin with.
yeah, but like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's older, like 70s, and you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm gonna let her slide, because I wouldn't, like, golden rule type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wouldn't
100%.
if I wouldn't want that done to me, I really wouldn't want to do that to somebody else.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that's empathy.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Damn, I lost track of what I was gonna say. I had a point. Go ahead, go.
I was gonna ask, what do y'all think your biggest flaw is in like your best quality? I think because you were talking about, like, we were talking about all these features of being a leader. We're like talking about like all these communication
Mhm.
stuff. I feel like for me, like when y'all were talking, like the self-awareness in myself probably is the biggest thing that I'm proud of. But
Same.
probably the biggest thing that I'm embarrassed about is like how reactive and like not emotional necessarily, because I do think being emotional is a great thing, but like how rash I could be, like, and how quickly I can like snap. It takes me a lot to get to that point.
But once you get there, you're there.
I it's there, and like a lot of the time, I there are a lot of things that I regret to this day because it was like a snap at the moment thing. But it happens less these days, but it used to happen like a significant amount. Definitely some friendships that probably won't be repaired, or maybe could, but that won't repair because of those type of things. So I'm curious what y'all think are your biggest flaws or biggest pros about yourselves.
I could start, and it may not make sense on like how can you have that as something you're so proud of, but also have that as what you think is your biggest flaw. But I'm very proud of how patient I am. Like with really anybody, like whether it's somebody at work or I don't know, like subscribers, whatever the case may be, I'm like very patient. Like I said, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I always try to put myself in their shoes, just like look at things how they try to look at things from their perspective. So I try to be patient, even if I think somebody is wrong. I try to look at things from their perspective. But also me as a person, I could be very hasty sometimes. Like I could make decisions very quickly, maybe not think of it as much as I should have, but sometimes I just be jumping the gun on shit and I just go for it. And I think that's a big flaw of mine. Sometimes I gotta tell myself, like, I gotta be patient with myself just as much as I'm patient with other people interacting with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta slow down sometimes and look at the bigger picture and be like, all right, if I want to get to this point, like this is what I gotta do. Or I just gotta slow it down and take it step by step, day by day type shit. You know what I'm saying? Those would be like my two things, probably.
I think I'm incredibly empathetic. Like I'm always seeing both sides of the story. I'm trying to really put myself in other people's shoes. I think that's my strongest one. Like even if you're a terrible person, I try to like really sit there and go, okay, well maybe they're just upset because they went through some things, or I think I'm real good with that. I do think my patience, I do have short patience. Like if I know someone and like, I don't know, we going through something, and I feel like my patience is short if I know you someone. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Like you have expectations for
like,
people.
I think so. Like I think it's like maybe I have expectations. Like if I know you and we know each other and we know this is what it is, regardless of the type of relationship. If you want some bullshit, then it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like I think then I have to work on that.
What you got, Thunder Man?
I think my worst quality is probably just being impatient. I think in general, a lot of the time, I'm very good at problem solving and thinking of things and like putting them into plan. But a lot of times I rush things in general. A few years ago, I probably would have said that my biggest issue was being selfish and working in like my own self-interest. Like I sabotaged a lot of relationships with friends and like girlfriends. Like I remember for a while, like I had like a different girlfriend like every like 6 months because I would always just do some like really selfish stuff. But even like the reason I said like a few years ago I would have said that and not recently is because I had a moment where I was just kind of thinking of like, if I keep acting selfishly, what if I lose my family? Because I got into a fight with some friends, and I don't know if like who was right or wrong, if that even existed in that situation that happened with the friends. But long story short, I don't speak with those friends anymore. And I was very close with those friends for quite a while. I hadn't had a situation like that before. And then anyways, I hashed it out with those friends a couple years later, but that was it. We hashed it out and we never spoke again.
Yeah,
and
like
that,
y'all wasn't cool like y'all was before.
Even we hashed it out and it was like mad normal. Like it was chill. But then we never spoke again after that because it was pretty much understood, at least on my end, where it was like, that was that. Like that was that part of my life. But going back to what I was saying, like, regardless of like who was maybe right or wrong in that situation, I know for myself that selfishness and my own working in self-interest, which, you know, can go hand in hand with like ego, insecurity, whatever the case is. But that's like the worst, or like the things that I think were like the negative, like my worst issues.
Yeah.
And then for my best thing is any type of like problem solving or like putting a plan together. And I get like, this will sound like I know this will sound like dumb, but like I'm really good at being able to make money, like regardless of the situation.
All right.
I'm so dead ass.
All right.
No, I'm so serious. I mean, I don't gotta prove nothing. Like, I'm so dead ass.
I do money spare right now.
You really don't want to go band for band with me. I'm the
Pull
last
up
guy
the
you
account
want
right
to go
now.
band for
Show
band
me
with.
your bank account right now.
You
You're
really
right.
don't want to go band for band with me.
Show the camera.
You really don't want to go band
You
for
are
band with
correct.
me.
I do not want to go band for band.
But do you chalk that up to your problem solving skills?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Because I think I have a very business focused mind. Like, so I don't know. That's something that I'm proud of. I'm not saying. I think that also in like kind of came in turn with the fact that like I just feel like I used to really think of things like selfishly, or in terms of like, how do I get what I need out of this? I don't mean like some like sociopathic leech way. Like, I didn't have relationships where I was like using people. I know, crazy shit like that. But just like business minded, like work minded, I would always really think like from my perspective. Always.
Do you think that affects relationships
Oh yeah, 100%.
negatively?
Yeah. Because if you're thinking about yourself, you're not thinking of the other person. And relationships thrive the most when you make the other person feel like they are like the main character when they're with you. That's how you make relationships thrive the most. If you're hanging out with someone and you're the main character, what the fuck do they get out of it? So
They got to be supporting cast in my show,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah.
Y'all got to support me.
No, that is
You
that
NPC.
is- but that is like that is for sure a thing. So I mean, like, I really went through this when I broke up with like the first girl I really liked. So this is like 2020 years ago. But that's really when I like was like type selfish. Like, I started
Noticing.
I was like I was like, am I the problem? No, but
But am I though? Shit, baby.
But,
I don't know.
But you don't think you're selfish
Nadine,
anymore.
Pauline, Justine. Nah, but yeah, I'm proud of my problem solving skills. I think if I actually take like even like a little bit of time to put together a plan and like see it through, usually I can really like
Put it in motion.
and I can get what I get what I want a lot of the time. Like in my life, I almost always get what I want, is what I
You
think,
daddy
when I really want
girl.
something. I'm so dead ass.
Oh my god.
I'm so dead ass. Like, all the times I think of like what I wanted, I like will get it.
Yeah, but you couldn't get that bad bitch though.
No, I had her. Nah, that's so fucked. No, I already had her, and then no, I can't talk about this on pod. But that's fucked up. I did have her. Akil, tell him I was there till 6 a.m. Akil, tell him I was there till 6
I wasn't
a.m.
referencing one in particular. But you just self-gooped.
Self-report.
Self-reported.
Self-report.
I love her though. I love her still though.
Baby, come back.
I
don't
love
blame
you
me at
so
all.
much.
Oh,
If
me.
you're watching this,
But you're not selfish no more. You don't think you're as selfish. What do you?
she
okay,
might
well,
think otherwise.
But
Well-
do you think you would make a? Do you think? What do you consider yourself a good leader?
Yeah,
Even with all the not being able.
depends on who I'm leading. Shit, if I'm leading the gang, we're good. We're straight.
No. If you're leading the gang, terrible leader. But
What?
If you're leading like if it's like business wise, maybe okay, yes, I'll give you that. But like,
What?
No.
Cap.
Wait,
If
why
you're-
do you think he
What the
wouldn't
fuck?
be if he's leading the game?
first, okay, so if we're going,
I might
all
get
right,
us in a
if
bad
we go, if we
situation.
go,
I ain't
yeah,
gonna
you
cap.
will.
wait,
but-
if we're
but-
making
but-
plans,
but-
if we're
Nah, I
making
ain't gonna
plans
cap.
to go out, you put him in charge?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. He's the
Absolutely
last
not.
person
Yeah,
in
he's
charge.
the
He's
last
gonna be
person.
I ain't even
oh,
gonna
yeah.
lie. Remember that
Yeah,
time I was like, guys, I'm taking us to a shice restaurant, and I made us walk 2 miles in the heat.
No, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, guys, I know this shice restaurant. Bro, did not know where it was. He said it's mad close. Bitch, he walked 2 miles in 95-degree weather, and the shit wasn't shice.
Oh,
It wasn't even
duh.
that good.
Wait, what was this?
It was 2022.
It was brunch.
Oh,
2022.
dude, you were
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I think I
When
remember
we all
that.
went to the Mexican
The
brunch
Mexican-
spot.
Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that shit.
bro.
Bro, that shit was a hype, dog.
Yo.
And then they had the parade, and we couldn't go. we couldn't
Bro,
cut
that
through
shit was OC.
Yeah,
No, you are definitely not no group leader for any type of escapade.
Oh my God, I remember that.
That's
Yeah.
my bad.
Yo,
Hey,
that's crazy.
hey, you're a better leader today than you were yesterday, and that's what matters.
Thanks.
That's what matters.
Wow.
I think so too.
Not me
So,
though.
the point I wanted to say before when y'all was talking about like snapping and stuff, I do think it's I want to
Wait, you said
emphasize.
snapping?
Wait, let me say
Like-
one more thing before we move on from me.
All right.
I really am the one who flips it and doubles it. I really am that guy. I am really the one who does that. All right, I'm so dead
you don't-
ass.
You don't fumble it ever?
Never.
Never.
I always come back and I double it, triple it.
You get the bag. and flip it.
Swave knows I'm the inventor of 100 exit. I'm the one. I'm the one. All right, let it be known.
All right, put me
Just-
on, big bro.
Just I've been in I just been in a tough spell recently. That's all, man. I just haven't made the right.
Oh my
the,
God.
I haven't been right.
just some crazy problems have shown up and I cannot solve them as of late. That's all, man.
Oh my God.
The problem solver's gone dry for a little bit.
Oh
but
man,
once he
man, I
gets
need
it back-
I need an algorithm update on my shit. My shit is cooked.
Oh, do it.
What are you gonna say back?
I was gonna say I think it's very important to go through the motions. So if you feel bad, if you feel sad or mad, or it's very important to go through those emotions, and like, you know, unfortunate if you snap on someone that you care about and you hurt their feelings, but you know, if there's a healthier outlet that you can do, if it's crying, if it's smashing something, if
What the
you
hell?
know.
You want
No,
you
no.
want the listeners to smash some shit in they wall.
No, but I
But
agree.
you-
if
you
no one
have
getting
to-
hurt and you
you
throwing
can't
it in a
suppress
controlled
it.
area,
If you suppress it, it's gonna build up. It's terrible. You have to be able to feel the sadness.
Yeah,
You
but
shouldn't go.
I think there's probably healthier outlets than smashing shit.
No,
though.
some like
No,
if you're
I
not
think-
breaking like personal,
yeah, if you're not doing something crazy,
you can
Smashing
smash
stuff
something.
is a very cathartic way.
yeah.
to,
Why you
Alright,
think
go-
people be?
alright,
Why you think
go-
people be
go to the
shooting
smash rooms.
trees
Go
and
to the
cans?
smash rooms.
Yeah, they
that-
have
you,
those.
like,
Yeah, go
you
to
gotta
the
do
break
it in a
rooms.
safe way
Yeah.
that you're not destroying
No,
anything.
bitch, I'm coming to your house and I'm breaking all
I'm
the
going
shit.
to
in
your
there.
room. I'm flipping your computer. I'm
Yeah,
doing
and that shit gonna make me feel
Yeah.
good.
That's very important. How do y'all feel about men who are scared to express themselves
Don't be scared.
because they're afraid of like judgment?
I'll tell you
Alright.
this. Oh no, you can go.
The only time I will ever judge a man for crying is if you look into your phone on IG story or TikTok video and cry into the screen. That's the only
facts.
time.
If you record yourself crying,
If you
You're a
record,
bitch.
if you record yourself crying, that's the only time I will ever have an issue with you
Tyrese.
crying.
Remember that Tyrese?
That's so crazy. It's just so crazy to me. Just experience your feelings, and you can. All right, maybe you can record yourself crying. Posting it is crazy.
okay.
For the
obviously, there's
intention?
some exceptions. Some
Yes,
exceptions.
some
there's
exceptions.
exceptions.
There's
Like if you get if
exceptions.
you're talking and then you get emotional while you're talking.
Yeah.
But like if you are crying and then you take the phone out, like I gotta capture this.
I gotta capture me crying for the views.
That's so crazy to me.
That's different. Yeah.
I'm a very emotional
Damn, I know how to
person,
go viral for our next bit, bro.
and I'm very
Swave made Thunderman cry and take off his disguise.
I'm very transparent with people. I'm very honest with people about me being upset.
Mhm.
Like, and it is also very difficult for me to hide my sadness or frustration, like on my face. Like a lot of the time, you will see it visually. I'll be expressing it, and I think that at least for sadness, you'll only be worse off if you are repressing your feelings. So it's very important to cry. It's very important to talk about what is making you upset,
I agree
bringing
with
you
that.
down.
I agree with that.
And I know that there are people we live in a society that people there's certain types of people that will criticize you if you do these things. Fuck them. They literally do not matter. Their existence has nothing to do with you, and unless they are physically harming you or forcing you to not show emotion, their opinions don't matter. Everything outside of you does not matter. The things that matter are you and what you're feeling, what you're going through. So, like Mac was saying, going through the motions is so important because life is truly a roller coaster. Like you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, and the thing that you want the most is to stay even as often as possible. But again, this is a part of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are like experiences that we are having for a reason. If we were fucking robots with no emotions, life wouldn't be worth living.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So experience the highs, experience the lows, take it in. You might have had a breakup that was fucking horrible. Don't avoid it. Maybe you can avoid it for a little bit, but really exist in that, feel that pain, and then the next time that happens, it'll hurt a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
The more you expose yourself to these feelings, it's basically like therapy or like exposure therapy. Now you're more callous. Maybe callous is not the right word, but now you're more resistant
Mm-hmm.
to these situations
Well,
because
that's a good
you
word.
allowed
I think
yourself
calloused
to.
is a good word because you're right. These things do bruise you, but you grow.
No,
Yeah.
it's I don't. It is the right word, but callous might mean like to some people it's like you're cold to something or like you're
Okay,
indifferent.
sure.
So
Yeah.
not callous in that way. Not callous towards someone, but like callous and
Yeah, I get it.
yeah. So
You think he's smart?
If y'all be in the gym, you know.
yeah,
If y'all be lifting, you know.
You don't be lifting though.
Y'all be lifting.
yeah.
more
I've
than
been
you-
I've been
I lift over.
slacking. I've been slacking, baby.
Wait, what was the original question?
What was the question?
Oh yeah. What do you think of men who are afraid to show emotion?
what do you
I'll say
think?
this:
Oh, good,
emotion is in again for
Oh.
men.
Emotion is.
The girls like the emotion. All that. I'm
I'm a
stoic.
man.
I'm a man. Nothing moves me. I like beans. All that bullshit is out.
Wait,
All that
what?
bullshit is out.
I like
Well, I'm not-
beans.
I'm
That
not-
emotional
I'm not-
shit is
Wait,
in.
wait, UK?
That I love you. No, maybe. I don't know. All
Yeah,
this-
but
that shit is in.
I think to a certain extent,
Nope.
though, like you can't show everybody all your emotions.
No,
I
no,
agree
of
with
course.
that.
No,
I
of
agree
you
with
course.
that.
like
of
you
course,
got to
of
be able
course.
to keep some shit inside and keep like a poker face to a certain extent. But
So
like, you know, you like sometimes you got to put the facade on that you're strong. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, give
like
it. Yeah.
like a good example is like when, you know what I'm saying, my girl's going through some things like, you know, potential medical things, and it could have been like life changing for not, you know, us, but especially her, depending on what the results came, you know, tested as. And I had to put on a poker face and stay strong, right? For her, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously inside I was feeling all different types of emotions, and I was scared and I wanted to cry. When I got home, I went and I did that by myself in my own space, you know what I'm saying? Because I still had to be strong, and I don't want to say lie, but put on this facade that, you know what I'm saying? Not a facade that everything's going to be okay, because I was hoping and praying that was the case. But, you know, like in times like that, I don't think you can show your emotion. Like somebody has to be strong. Somebody has to be the rock here and hold it down.
guess that
Not
even-
everybody could be scrambling and grasping at straws here and like breaking down. You know what I'm saying?
I think you could be strong and be crying though.
Yeah, you can, but like to a certain extent though. Like I don't think if we're both going through it and nobody has it together, that's a problem. Somebody has to
I mean,
have it
it's
together.
it's a situational thing too, to a degree. Like it kind of goes in turn when we talk about with like a leader, right? You can't really like. I'm not saying like you or your girl is
Yeah.
like the leader here, but you know what I mean. Like you have to like
Somebody has
inspire
to hold it down.
confidence,
Yeah,
inspire
exactly. Yeah,
confidence,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think. But I also agree with what Kill said. You can cry and be strong.
No,
I-
I agree. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying that somebody has to hold it down.
I
That's
don't
all
know.
I'm
The
saying.
only time my girl see me crying is when major manipulation is going down. The most major of all time
I
is
think-
going.
Not
The
listen
most
to him.
devious manipulation
I
of
think
all
it's-
time is happening.
we are not gaslighters.
I think it's ideal that if something's fucked up, that at least one person is at least having the poker face to say, we gonna get through this.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe not more realistic. It probably is just as realistic either way. But I think it's very possible, very likely that truly both people are just fucking lost. And the fact that they're lost together and they can share that with each other and be honest and transparent about that with each other is strength enough, because now they know that they have each other to find the way forward. And I think that is that's something that is, for me, something that is
That resonated with me.
super
That was tough.
super strong, because I feel very often like a lost soul. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in my life. Don't know what the fuck I'm doing in love, romance, just like very many aspects. And I think when I can connect with someone in that way, and I want to do less of this, but it makes me feel more seen. Like if I were to always be fucking, or if I were to always have a poker face about that part of my mental, like in the things that I kind of experience in that way, like I probably would feel less confident in the way that I would be able to navigate the world. And so I definitely agree with what you're saying, but like I think just as much sharing that, I guess what I'm trying to say is being vulnerable is just as strong as being rock solid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying to not be vulnerable, but I guess what I'm getting at is that I do think that somebody has to be like some sort of rock here.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think if both of us are drowning, like, yeah, sure, we should both know where we're at. Like, we should both know how we're feeling about whatever it is. But if we're both drowning and freaking out, it's not going to be beneficial for either of us. We're both going to suffer because of that. Like, somebody eventually has to be like, all right, I need to pull it together for
at least for the
myself,
time being,
but for both of us.
Well, that implies that someone is completely lost and like just like cooked without the other person to be their anchor.
That's not true.
Well, that's what this situation is implying.
No, it's just a situation where this person is going through something hard, and the other person is trying to comfort them.
Right.
Yeah. No, I know that. But the implication is that if you need to be completely stone-faced about something, that you need to like anchor the other person.
For the time being, yeah.
I don't know. I agree a lot more with what Akil said now that I think about this more.
Yeah. I think it ultimately boils down to like the time and the place. They're just different circumstances that like different things are required.
Sure, yeah.
But
it's very circumstantial. Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I will say though that sometimes you just gotta flounder. If you're both drowning, sometimes you gotta flounder for a little bit. Like that's just what's gonna be. That's just gonna be what it is.
What is nihilism?
And y'all
mean?
gonna get through it together after y'all done floundering.
I don't even know what that
bro,
means.
I don't think
Like it is. It's very,
I guess it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the situation.
It's like pessimistic. It's very. It is what it is. Like it's.
I'd be floundering, but I'd be pretending I know.
That's what it's.
He said, "I be lying."
I'd be like, baby. I know all about that. I'd be like, shit. I'd be like, P. Where do I go, bro? I don't know how to take the subway, bro.
How do I take this train, bro?
Oh, where's Jay? Help.
How do you tie a tie?
I think I sent y'all that vid. I was at a wedding and I was looking at that Jason Tatum vid, how to tie a tie in the hotel room, because I was like, fuck, I don't know how to tie a tie.
Jason Tatum vid is a good one.
Shout out Big Deuce.
No free press, no free promo.
Might just take a big side like that, bro.
He just looked at us and said, "Oh, I hate them all."
I hate them all.
What was the question? What was the original question? We be sidetracking. I do
We
think
be
I'm very,
sidetracking the whole
I
time.
do
It's
think
your question that needed to be reminded to you 3 times now, and I'll remind it to you a 3rd time.
he
Talk about
talking.
men's
He always
emotions.
switching up and
Men's
changing the
emotions,
topic.
showing emotions.
He always switching
Yeah,
and changing the topic.
yeah.
I do think I'm.
But you know what? I be showing a lot of motion though.
Cap,
I be showing a lot
Cap.
of emotion though.
cap, because I'm Mr. Flip It and turn it into 2.
Yeah, see, we
Oh,
got a lot
nah.
of
It's the
emotion.
money
though.
man.
$1.
Yeah, that right there, Tom
Money
Ford.
trees.
Wait, I got a funny. Okay, this is a funny ass video about motion and money. One time, my uncle gave me these 5 pennies. Nah,
Blood talk about
wait,
motion.
beep. But they were double printed pennies. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
So okay, bitch, I'm gonna explain it. before
Blood
I-
had 5 cents and it was fake.
Listen, bitch.
Sorry,
So the text on the penny was printed twice and overlapped on each other. And this is like a crazy collector's item. And he gave these to me and he's like, yo, one day these are gonna be worth some bread. I was like, all right, whatever, fuck these pennies. And I put them in a sock and I lost that shit.
No,
And like 2 years later,
Don't tell
them
me.
shit was like 1,800 a penny.
you're
Shit. And
lying.
my uncle, he was like, yo, you still got them pennies? I'm like,
Yo, you're
Bro, dude.
But
lying.
how old were you? He gave it to
bro,
a
I
kid.
was like 7, bro.
Yeah,
It
Why you
sounds
giving it to
like
a
a kid.
7-year-old?
It sounds
Not
like you were
best
not
back
Mr.
then,
Flip It and
I was
Double
not.
It.
That's
I
also
was
one
not
thing. You're not
Mr.
about,
Flip
and
It
let me
and
tell you
Double
one
It.
thing. None of you are about your bread if you never had the quarter with the string and scam that machine. If you never did that, you are not
he
about
Mr.
it at
Krabs.
all.
This nigga think
He Mr.
edited
Krabs.
anything.
I really did that shit. I really did that shit when I was 5
I
years
also
old.
heard that you put your hand through the vending machine and got stuck, and then
Nah, I never did none of that. I never did that. But I tell you another thing. Another story of me flipping it and doubling it is the claw machine.
Oh my
Been
God.
won that. Been won that. I just want everybody to know.
The only time I've ever won something for from the claw machine was when I was in Japan, and I won it for the shorty.
Don't worry,
Then I
gang.
gave it to her.
I'll win for you this next time.
right now.
You go Dave Buster right now. I'm clearing out the machine.
I didn't say that. You gotta show me the tag.
I'm crazy. And block stacker, my bitch.
Yo, shit, you have never been to the top of Block Stacker. Stop the cap. You have never gotten the super prize off of Block
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I
Stacker.
ain't won since 2022 at
Nah.
block stacker, but I used to be
Nah.
shiced. That's
Yeah.
tough because he has saw me lose in real life, so I can't really say anything about that.
Yo, Mr.
Y'all finish?
Mm.
I had a point, but y'all done.
Well, what's
switched up
the
20
point?
times.
This fits into men being emotional. Say what's
Yeah,
on your
show
mind, gang.
emotions. Come on.
Oh. Do y'all know what? Y'all got a question? Damn. Yo.
It's a podcast, my brother.
This ain't a
What's the
Q&A.
Because I was
Q&A,
going to
gang.
say something and then y'all cut me off, so I don't remember no more. I think I was going to say something about me being stoic. I'm also very naturally stoic.
You are
Oh
stoic.
yeah, you remind me
You are
of.
so-
You remind me of Duke.
You remind me of
Oh,
Duke.
Duke.
You remind me of Duke.
Get the fuck out of it. Nah, we not doing this. Fuck out of it. Nah.
Type shit.
He said, yo, guys.
Type shit.
Type shit.
You know who I really see?
Well, you said we're not about to do this because you gave the greatest layup
gave
of
the
all
greatest-
time
No.
for all of us to say that shit. It's so crazy.
He said, yo, guys, no glaze, but I really see myself in Duke. Yeah, I really see myself in Duke Dennis must be top 5 quotes of all time.
That's a
man.
Duke, that's a
Top
Duke in
five
the friend
quote.
group.
Out of context.
No, that's not out of the context.
That was the whole-
That
that was
is
the
you
whole
stopped
context.
everybody
You
to
didn't
create the
explain
context right there
Everyone
and then,
listening
gang.
is hearing that out of context, but I'm not explaining it.
Nah, don't worry. If anyone's hating, you gotta go through me. I'm the Kai of the group.
Oh my
No,
god.
you're the Aiden Ross
you-
of the group.
No! You're the fucking Uzi tube of the group because you fucking
I'm
tattooed
up.
that hairline.
I'm up.
You're XQC because you can't say a sentence.
That's crazy.
I'm killing everybody.
Niggas I can't read.
Who are you? Who's another bad
I'm
street?
Pokemon.
You scam me.
My man's trying to holler at you.
Hey, yo, what?
Yo, fuck.
We losing the plot.
We
All
are-
right, man.
No, you lost the plot by.
Stay focused, my brothers.
All right, we have 45 minutes. We got some.
we got like
let's-
10 minutes left.
Let's
What else
let's
we got?
steer this ship back in the right direction.
Y'all know what? Let's put some people on because maybe some people don't know what toxic positivity is. Do you know what toxic positivity?
I literally have no idea what that
I would
is.
imagine. Wait, let me guess.
Mr. Take That Risk.
Mr. Take That Risk, being overly enthusiastic or optimistic about any situation, disregarding anything that might be negative or realistic about a situation.
I googled it so we get a. This is the AI definition. Toxic positivity is a dysfunctional way of managing emotions that involves denying or
I know all about
minimizing
that, matter of
negative
fact.
emotions.
Guys, I know he just upped it right in front of me and is about to shoot me, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Experiencing guilt for being sad or angry, reciting positive quotes about hard situations, hiding painful emotions, ignoring your problems. What does this one say?
Say the biggest way to put this in practice as a coach for anything. You gotta really like identify the issue and be honest about things. Right?
Yeah, you have to be honest with like what this situation, like how dire is this situation
Yeah.
type shit. You can't just be like, "Yep, it's gonna be okay."
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Otherwise, even if you win, even if you win a title and everyone's cheering on your team and they're like, "Yeah, we did it." But you got to be objective about the shit. If you saw if there were some holes or like you didn't, like maybe you got some ref calls or some shit. Maybe like I'm like, I think you got to be hypercritical as a coach always, like to and like you need to be as close to objective as you can be. That's just what I think. But I don't know. That's just something I.
Why do you mention toxic positivity?
Because it ties in to what I was saying before.
About what?
About yo. Hold on. About going through the motions. About making sure you go through the motions and feeling sad instead of brushing it off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
that's a form of toxic positivity. So
I
yeah,
understand what you're saying.
I got.
Yeah. No, you definitely have to be in touch with the real world. You can't be overly negative or overly positive.
No metaverse.
Yes.
Right, Thunderman?
No metaverse.
How y'all feel about detachment and not being too attached to things, or knowing how to detach from something? So you're emotionally available. You're emotionally attached to something. Do y'all find it hard to detach from that thing, or like, let's say a relationship? You're obviously emotionally bonded with
Big
your
romance.
person. You know what I mean? So now you have to learn how to detach when y'all break up or whatever the case may
Oh.
be. Do y'all think that's hard?
Big romance.
Oh, yeah, obviously. It's hard.
Big romance created this psyop called detachment for real lovers
Mm-hmm.
to not be real lovers. Fuck detachment now. It's important.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't.
that's
be
for
obsessive,
everything
right?
in life. Detach.
So basically, you're saying like you have to be able to know when to call it, type shit.
Oh, you have to know when to let things go.
Like let things go. Yeah, call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be What's what I'm looking for? You can't just be like irrational and just.
Do you think it's as simple as the decision? Because for me, when it comes to detachment, like I might know when it's time to let things go.
It's hard to
But-
actually let go.
exactly.
Though. Yeah. No,
Like-
it's not just making the decision. You
Yeah.
could know when it's time to call it, but like, can you actually do it?
Yeah.
Can I actually let Air Bud leave in that field with his pudding cup to not play basketball? Can I really do that? It's hard.
It is hard.
He got to play ball.
He got to play ball.
The absolute last thing I want to touch upon. I want to bring these things up specifically because maybe I think some people haven't like heard about these things. They don't know they exist. So that's why I brought up toxic positivity, because I don't think that's mentioned enough. Another thing I want to bring up is performative masculinity. This is going to be the last thing. So it's defined as performative masculinity is the idea that men should act in certain ways to appear masculine and gain social acceptance. How do y'all feel about that? So like performative is like, I'm gonna come and flex on this dude. Like, yo, I'm showing.
Like I'm him. You know.
I'm him. Yeah.
I mean, I think back in the day that was more like.
So y'all think it got better with that? People do it. People definitely still do it.
Yeah,
Like,
but
a
it's way
lot.
less than what it was like 10 years ago.
No,
or
I
whatever.
they
think
do
that's
it
a
online
maturity
now.
thing.
Well, like they be flexing on each other online. I mean, yeah, I guess, but
And like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm tough. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean,
I was doing that when I was 12
yeah,
on the internet.
Yeah, I just think that was because the phrase of masculinity has changed between today and 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
mm-hmm.
There's no like, yo, I don't know. It's changed. You're
Gotta
viewed
go.
as a man different. 20 years ago, if you were to ask somebody like, yo, when you think of a man, what do you think? They might imagine like, yo, you gotta be brolic, you gotta be the breadwinner, you gotta hold it down all the time, you gotta do this, do that.
that stigma has fallen.
But it's changed a bit though. It's not as much anymore. It's not to the same extent.
And
So,
truthfully, there wasn't even really that brolic back then.
yeah, there
So-
was no Sam Shellick back then.
That's true.
Type shit.
But when you look at these like pop the balloon shows, those women are kind of looking for those quote unquote masculine men.
Well,
That-
that's
that-
that,
them women is the most tiny minority
Mm-hmm.
that is on there.
Also, that stuff is rage bait.
Like
yeah,
like,
all that pop the balloon shit
yeah,
is
That's rage
literally
bait.
not real.
Yeah.
the worst shit you could ever consume. Anything that's like that,
So yeah, I don't think there's a lot of women like that out in the world.
No,
I
I don't think
think-
there's a lot. I don't think there's a lot.
Or you think it went down?
Yeah, it's went down.
I think no, I think that is probably representative of certain types of communities.
Mm-hmm.
It probably isn't
Let's-
the majority.
Let's talk about the black community real quick.
Okay.
Because this is a big thing in the black community where this is also like a social construct that like, especially black men, especially dark skinned men, are supposed to be like real masculine and like when I don't know they cry or
Yeah.
something, then it's like a problem. Now it's
Yeah.
like, oh, why are they acting like that?
this is something that I when I was in Japan, in relation to this girl, like I had like a conversation with myself, or like a thought to myself about like the way I'm perceived as a black man, and like, do I fit the standard of like the standard like what is it there's a term for it, but like the image of beauty, like the beauty standard of a black man. I don't think I'm like the most optimal example of what a lot of people see as a black man being, which I'm actually like,
You talking appearance?
no, just not only appearance, like how I carry myself,
Okay.
Whatever personality, beauty standard is like obviously beauty, but like I'm thinking like holistically looking at me as an individual, am I perceived as like what people might expect me to be as a black man? A lot of people have a certain expectation for what they want. In this moment when I was like crashing out in my head over this girl, I was thinking like maybe like I would have been better off if I was a different type of person. But no, I actually like the fact that I am this type of person. I am who I am. And I think that doing anything performative for the sake of a specific reaction or being perceived a specific way, if that is not truly who you are, is the stupidest shit in the world, and you shouldn't do it. If it is organic to you, and that is like how you identify, and that is who you truly are, and it could be who you are in that moment. It doesn't need to be you forever. If it is what makes sense for you, do it. But if it is for the purpose of being in a relationship with someone, I would never change who I am for someone. You know how many girls told me like, no, why'd you cut your hair? You look good with long hair. I don't give a fuck. I wanted to cut my hair, so I'm gonna cut my hair.
Yes.
I'm gonna grow it back. I probably won't get twists immediately. Maybe I will get twists again or locks again. But the decisions I make with my personality, the way I express myself to the world, are my decisions, and I will continue to do that in the future, regardless of who thinks I'm attractive, who thinks I'm appealing, and whoever wants to get next to me. If no one wants to get next to me, I'm gonna still be who I am, because that's the most important thing. And again, the performative nature of it, going back to perform masculinity, no one should be doing anything for the sake of perception. Do what you want to do. As long as you're not hurting anybody, do what feels natural. Some shit might be cringy.
Yeah.
But you should still be yourself. So.
And that's the case for like, I touching back to what you was talking about. Masculinity did evolve. Like the idea of masculinity did evolve, because nowadays you have like men who will wear nail polish or whatever the case may be. That's not my cup of tea. But I also have like a lot of piercings. Like I have 2 lobe piercings, I have helix piercings, I have a nose ring. So it's like back in the day, someone, especially like in the black community, they look at you and go, yo, what are you on? Like, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, nobody bats an eye. Nobody. So, I do think we've come a long way since that. But like, we're not all the way there.
No, we're not.
You know what I mean?
But we definitely made progress, though, in terms of what is defined as like being masculine. Yeah.
If someone ever says you're a real man or you're a real woman, run far away from that person, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's a good place to end it on. Do you have anything else to say, Mac?
No. Please let us know, because
that was a great.
Sometimes I be wanting to know what other people think, and people in the comments don't actually give their thoughts, and I actually want to genuinely read people's thoughts because I care about that. Obviously, don't be toxic about it. If we can concise and like, just not in a rude way or like
constructive. Yeah,
constructive. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yes, that's all I want to say.
I guess ended with this. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. If y'all keep supporting, and this podcast does well, continues to do well, we might up it to once a week.
Yep.
But at least for the time being, we're gonna be doing once every 2 weeks.
Yep.
So
there it is. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Peace. Boom.